Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Glad you could make it. We're in December already. Like what? So I have my Christmas shirt out. I kind of have been, not hinting at, but mentioning this process and this video for a while now. But as you will come to see, it's been a long time coming and quite a process. Without further ado, let's get into the video. It had gotten to the point in my plant collecting journey, I suppose, where I was finding it difficult in my house to meet the ideal conditions of a lot of the plants that I owned, because I was buying more and more tropical plants, more collected plants, slightly harder plants to take care of. And my house and where I live is quite dry, quite, I guess, drafty, and just not ideal. I was kind of toying with this idea of getting a greenhouse for quite a while, and I was doing some research, and greenhouses are expensive, which now that I have been through this experience, I understand why, and I do not begrudge quality greenhouse manufacturers the money that they charge. Anyway, I mentioned to my husband that I would like to maybe own a greenhouse, but we rent, and the place we live at the moment is not where we'd like to stay for, I guess, a long time, as in the house and the town and the location that we live in Queensland. We'd like to move closer to the coast. With those things in mind, at budget, renting a house, so likely to move again, we didn't want to buy a very heavy-duty, very unmovable, I suppose, greenhouse. So we turned to eBay. And after many months of looking at the greenhouses that eBay had to offer and comparing prices, comparing sizes, comparing, I guess, value for money, we settled on the greenhouse that we did. And the greenhouse we decided on was 2.5 meters by 2.5 meters, I do believe. And price here, it was a decent amount. Part of the reason that we chose the greenhouse that we chose was because it advertised free shipping. But we put our address in and it said that shipping was $180. So we put my parents' address in, and they live much closer to the city than we do, and they had free shipping. So we got it sent to my parents' house. Now, we ordered the greenhouse on the 16th of October, and it arrived at Mum and Dad's the following Tuesday. So pretty decent turnaround, I would say. And over the weekend, we decided to set it up. Now, the instructions, everything came numbered. All the poles came numbered. All of the joints came numbered. The plastic inserts had letters on them. And so we, set everything out, and we didn't check sizes, which we should have. We'll come to that in a second. But we set everything out, went, okay, everything's here. That's great. We'll start building. And the instructions just kind of you need these, and you need to make a shape that looks slightly like this. So we were trying to follow what was happening, and we built the front house bit, and that went off pretty decently. Not too much trouble there. No, we started with the base, and then we built the front. And the first issue that we encountered was the wind. Now, where we live gets quite windy. It can be quite windy. And the front of the greenhouse, it's very light. Drew, my husband, can pick the whole greenhouse, not pick it up, but he can stand in the middle and lift up that top beam and kind of walk around. And it's awkward, and it's not the easiest thing, but it's not, it's light enough for him to be able to do that. The wind was really pushing it around, so we were grabbing big pots of, my citrus trees and trying to prop up this front portion while we were working on the back. And we were setting up the back, and we were trying to stop the wind from blowing those poles over, when we discovered the back inserts, the plastic, was the wrong size. At first we thought we were doing something wrong, so we checked all the holes where all of the poles were meant to go, and nope, they were where they were. We tried the plastic each way we could. We went through the stack of plastic many times, and we couldn't find the right pieces. We were a bit stumped by what to do. We decided to call it quits for the day, and we took the front section off and carried it into the garage so it didn't blow over and die and break. And we took all of the plastic inserts inside, sorted them out on the floor in our dining room, and kind of figure out a game plan. Eventually we came to the conclusion that yes, the pieces are missing. Luckily, the instruction booklet gave us the dimensions of each of the plastic inserts, and we did not have any that fit the dimensions that we needed. So on the 31st of October, Drew messaged the sellers, the company, and said, we're missing this piece. They said, send us photos. We went, okay. And tried to send them photos of a missing piece of plastic. And eventually they messaged us back and said, we have found your missing parts. And they shipped them to Mum and Dad. Now this took slightly longer to arrive. Turns out the greenhouse itself came from Sydney, but these plastic parts that we ordered came from China. So it was all a bit confusing. But they eventually arrived. We picked them up. Thankfully, they fit. The next day, we set about building the rest of the greenhouse. But it was a process because, like I said, the instructions were just, you need these pieces and they need to fit in this way. And they could have been more detailed. So there was a lot of trial and error and a lot of having to pull things apart again and put it back together. And it was not easy. Not at all. And we really had to force things to fit. And in the, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, that the base of the greenhouse had been sitting outside, the screws, the bolts and the nuts had all rusted. It had gotten incredibly dirty, which is to be expected because we're in a drought and things are very dusty at the moment. But it wasn't looking as attractive as it had at the beginning. We eventually got the greenhouse together and quit for the day, I suppose. We also, a few, I guess, surprises and things that we ran into along the way. You can't actually lock the greenhouse, which maybe is not something I should say on YouTube, but don't rob my plants. Another issue that we ran into was the, I guess, roof flap, the vent thing didn't fit perfectly in the gap that it left, and it broke. It's broken. It's already broken. I have a picture and we'll insert the picture of the broken thing, but there's not really any opportunity for hanging things. Things can get in, like we've got these weird red bugs everywhere at the moment and they're getting in. And the next thing is it was a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. But thankfully the moss wall fits. Jury's still out as to whether this greenhouse is worth the effort, because really it was a lot of effort and the money and the hassle to get it. Hopefully our experience with missing parts was a one-off experience, and yeah, jury's still out. We'll see how it goes. The plan for this, I guess, greenhouse retelling, we'll get around to a greenhouse tour, and by that time I should have come to a decision as to whether it's worth buying this greenhouse or whether it's worth saving up your money and buying something more substantial. At the moment, I'm kind of leaning towards that based on just the effort with setup. Lessons to take away from this video so far is measure your pieces, check the dimensions before you buy it, Free shipping does not at all always mean free shipping. And I guess have 4 people to build a greenhouse like this, because the 2 of us, it was really hard. And I think it would have been even just an extra set of hands, even just 3 people would have been fantastic. But I do not recommend building this on your own. Do not build it on your own. You will have a very bad time. All right, I hope you enjoyed or got something out of these ramblings. I'm sorry that this video is probably something of a mess. It's kind of just my thoughts and reflections on this greenhouse, because I guess I wish I had more first-hand experiences of greenhouses before I bought mine, and just to know what out there is worth it, what's not worth it, whether it was worth waiting a little bit longer to buy something of better quality, because 100% this greenhouse is not a quality greenhouse. It is definitely like a cheapie. It's not even like the IKEA of the greenhouse world. It's probably the Kmart furniture of the greenhouse world. It's a little bit not great. Yeah, anyway, subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you stick around for the rest of the videos in this installment. I have a couple of what I'm looking forward to exciting videos for the rest of the year. I hope you are getting in the spirit of the holiday season, however you celebrate it. And for those of you who are school people, hope you enjoy the holidays that are coming up. But I'll see you next week. Bye.